I have had so many friends ask me to make a video of me making crackers. Y'all, this is so easy. I have a big jar of sourdough discard that I need to use, and I am using it in this recipe. So this recipe, it calls for 220 grams of sourdough discard and 80 grams of all-purpose flour. I'm using 50 grams of freshly ground einkorn berries. And then I'm going to put 5 grams of salt into the cracker recipe. We're going to add some salt on top of the crackers later. I'm also using some room temperature butter, 30 grams of that, and then 30 grams of shredded Parmesan cheese. I buy this at Aldi and this bag lasts me so long. And then I'm going to add 1 drop of Rosemary Vitality essential oil. This gives it such a great flavor and coming in at less than 9 cents a drop. I'm also using a drop of Black Pepper Vitality essential oil, coming in about 20 cents a drop. Lots of flavor for a little bit of money, and I love, love, love using the Vitality oils from Young Living. All right, now I'm going to pop in the bowl over at the KitchenAid. I love this paddle. It is an aftermarket paddle that has a silicone edge and it scrapes down the side of my bowl so well. I love this paddle. It is in my Amazon storefront if you would like to look at that and get one for your KitchenAid. Now, this dough doesn't look like a lot, but I promise you this is going to make a lot of crackers. I do have a lot of crackers to make, so I'm actually going to whip up a total of 3 of these recipe batches for my crackers. I have a big event coming up on Tuesday night, and I always serve crackers at those events. So I'm just going to knead it a couple of times on the counter, and then we're going to go over and we're going to roll this into cracker dough. All right, here you'll see that I have 3 sheets of parchment paper. I have a ravioli cutter, a roller, some olive oil in a squeeze bottle, and my sea salt. I'm dividing the dough in half, and I'm pressing it out with my hand and then layering it between 2 sheets of parchment paper. I find that this helps me the most because this dough will stick to your roller. I'm also, you can't see it here on the video, but I'm also leaning into the edge of the parchment paper. I have it tucked over the edge of the counter and I'm leaning into it with my body weight to keep it stationary and not rolling all over the countertop. I've sped this up greatly, but it does take a little bit of time to get this dough rolled out to the thin cracker consistency that I like. Sometimes I've found that I don't roll it out thin enough and then it's not crunchy like a cracker, it's more dense. So here I've added a little bit of olive oil over the top and spread it out with my fingers, and I'm sprinkling the sea salt on top, just all over the top. And now I'm grabbing my ravioli cutter and I'm just making strips about 3/4 of an inch wide. No science here, just get it done. I think when you have them all assorted sizes, it's really more lends to the artisan rustic look. And I just rotated the paper and cut it on the diagonal. I'm slipping this onto my baking sheet, and this is going to go into the oven at 375 degrees for 10 minutes. Now I do rotate my pan at the 10-minute mark. I put the front to the back and the back to the front, and then I set the timer again for 7 more minutes. So while that's baking, I'm doing the other half of this dough, getting everything done just the exact same way, and it's going to rest. Now that first batch is out of the oven and it's time for the second batch to go in. Just crumbling them apart, and they're going to cool there on the counter before I put them in the jar. Now this is the second batch of dough that I made there in the KitchenAid, and I'm rolling it out, same thing, not changing a thing up. Now there are some variations you can do with this recipe. You could put garlic salt on the top. You could put dried herbs if you want, just whatever you like to top your crackers with. I just like to keep it simple with the sea salt and the olive oil. And you can see, of course, this video is very well sped up. Look at that crunch. Slowed it down just so you could see the crunch. Love the way that these crackers turn out. So again, I'm reusing this parchment paper, so the hot crackers have to go onto the counter to cool, and then I'm starting with another half of the dough. I honestly don't know the shelf life of these because we eat them so fast. I used up a lot of the discard, and now I have crackers ready for my event, which is on Tuesday night. That large half-gallon jar will go to the event, and the quart-size jar, well, we'll finish it here at the house.